This conference will now be recorded.
Right. So let us start with the structures concept. Structures. Okay, so what is a structure means? A structure is a collection of different types of fields. A structure is a collection of different types of fields. We go for structures whenever we want to store a record kind of information. I repeat once again. A structure is a collection of different types of fields. We go for structures whenever we need to store a record kind of information. Okay, right. Okay, so whenever we need to store what? A record kind of information. So what is the meaning of that is, if you take a C language, in C language, how do you declare a structure? We use the keyword struct, okay, struct, followed by what? Structure name. Assume that let us create one structure like employee structure. So I'll give the name of the structure as EMP, and inside this we will declare the fields like employee number. Okay, I'll take another field like employee name, and I'll take another field like float, employee salary. I'll close the structure. Okay, so this is how you'll create the structure in case of C language. Then if you want to store the data in the structure, we have to create the variable for the structure. How do you create the variable? Directly, I cannot say employee number equal to something like this. This is invalid. Okay, this is invalid. So how do we access the structure fields means we need to create the variable for the structure. How do you create the variable? We'll say structure name followed by variable name. You can give any name. Assume that I'll give a variable name as K. So the structure name is EMP. Okay, on top of that structure, I'm creating the variable. And using that variable, you'll say structure variable dot. We use a dot operator in C language. You'll say employee number equal to something like this. This is valid. Am I clear? So what is a structure? A structure is a collection of what different types of fields. We go for structure whenever we need to store a record kind of information. So k dot employee name. Okay, this in case of C language. Okay, k dot employee salary. Okay, like this, we'll store the, we'll access the structure fields by using structure variable followed by dot operator. Okay, so coming to Abap, we can declare structure in multiple ways. It is not possible to discuss all the syntax in a single session. As and when required, we'll get into what different syntaxes. Let me start with a very basic syntax. So when do we go for structure? Whenever you want to store a record kind of information, we can go for what? Structure. Okay. So let me directly get into the programming part. One second, please. Right. So I'll go to SC38. Right. I'll give the object name as something Z830 program, something 20. Declaring and accessing structure fields. Type of program is what? Executable program. I'll save it in the local object. Right. So my requirement is uh, I want to store some employee data. Try to understand. I want to store the employee data like employee number, employee name, and employee designation. And then I want to assign some data. Then I want to display that particular data. I repeat, I want to store some employee data and display that particular data. So I want to store like employee number, employee name, and employee designation. So I'll declare a variable here, data. Try to understand. Employee number type I, okay. Then employee name of something 20, type C. Then I'll take employee salary type pack, decimals what something 2. Okay, so something like this I can declare. Okay, then I'll try to assign some data, employee number, then I'll say employee name, then employee salary. Okay, so since it is a decimal value, I'll put it in what single quotes. We already know all these things. I'll try to print it. I'll print employee number, employee name, and employee salary. So when I execute this, I got the result. I got employee number, employee name, and employee salary. Working fine. So what happens in this case is we are declaring what three different variables. We are declaring three different variables like employee number, employee name, employee salary. So what happens internally for every variable, memory will be allocated now. So assume that this is a memory allocated for employee number. This is a memory allocated for employee name. This is the memory allocated for something employee salary, something like this. Okay. So assume this is employee number. Assume this is employee name. Assume this is employee salary. Okay, EMP number, E name, and EMP salary. Okay, right. So here by default you'll have the default values. Then I'm assigning some data. What is the data I'm assigning? 5, Raj, and not so and so. So assume that for this employee number, the memory allocation will start from 100. We cannot see that address location. It is only an assumption. Internally, assume that at the address location 100, memory got allocated for employee number. Employee number is what type? Integer. Na? Integer occupies how many bytes? 4 bytes. So 100 to 104 would be employee number. Then I declared another variable employee name of 20 type C. We know each character occupies 1 byte. 1 into 20 is what? 20 bytes. So assume that the memory allocated for this is something 165 to 185. 165 to 185. Okay, randomly memory will be allocated. Then what? Employee salary type P. Salary occupies what? Pack occupies what? 16 what? Bytes. So assume this is something 210 to something 226. Okay, so what I am trying to convey is when I am declaring individual variables like this, I cannot guarantee that all the variables are stored at continuous memory location. We cannot guarantee. Okay, there is a possibility that each variable might be memory got allocated at different places. Okay, so in order to improve the performance of accessing speed, what I can do instead of declaring like this, understand? Instead of declaring like this, okay, so I'll just comment it. So this I'll put it as what? Case 1. Declaring what? Individual fields. So what is the issue with this? I cannot guarantee that all the variables are stored one after the other. They might be stored at different memory locations. We don't have any control. Now what I'll do, all these are logically related fields only na. Employee number, employee name, employee cell. Logically means we are trying to store the information to employee. So they are logically related to what? Employee. So what I'll do, I'll declare them inside a what? Structure. I'll declare them inside a structure. How do you declare structures? We have many syntaxes. One of the syntaxes data begin of structure name. Okay, you can give any name. Since I'm dealing with employee fields, I'll give a meaningful name like EMP. I can give any name whatever you want. Okay, so I'll give EMP and I'll declare those three fields. Understood? What are the three fields I require? I'll declare that particular three fields. So this is employee number type I. Okay, employee name of 20 type C, employee salary of type P decimals 2, comma. I have to close the structure. End of what? EMP. Understood? So when I declare like this inside a structure, this is called as what? What? Structure declaration. This is one way of declaring the structure. There are 100 different ways. 100 different means many ways. Okay. So once you declare the structure, what happens is in structure, the memory allocation is continuous. Means all the structure fields are stored one after the other. We cannot see this, but it is only the understanding that anywhere if you declare the fields inside a structure, the in structures the memory allocation is what continues. Employee number, employee name, what is this? Employee salary. Okay, so assume the starting address of employee number is something 300. So 300 to integer occupies 4 bytes, 304. Employee name is character 1 into 20. 304 to 324 would be employee name. Employee salary is what? Type pack 16. So 324 to 340 would be what? Employee salary. And you'll have the default values. Employee number would be 0. Employee name is character space and employee salary. I give two decimals, huh? So 0.00. These are the default values. So what is the meaning here? All the fields in the structure, the memory allocation is continuous. They are stored one after the other. Am I clear? They are stored one after the other. Okay, so the accessing will be what? Faster? None. So what happens here, whenever we declare structure, memory gets allocated for the structure fields and they get initialized to default values. So if you take our C language, we will declare the structure like this. In order to access the structure fields, we have to create a variable for the structure name followed by variable name. Using that variable and dot operator, we need to access the structure fields in C, C++. Here in case of Abap, structure fields can be accessed directly, directly using what? Structure name. Okay, so what is the structure? I cannot say like this, employee number equal to 5. This is invalid. It will not recognize. When I do syntax check, I am getting an error. In the 21st line, the field employee number is what? Unknown. So this is ruled out. Okay, am I clear? It is unable to recognize the individual structure fields. How do we access? By using what? Structure name. So as of now, my structure fields contains default values depending on the data type. Na? So let me try to print it, right? How do you access EMP? In C, C++ we use dot, but here dot indicates end of the statement. You have to use hyphen. Structure name hyphen structure field. Okay. Here for your okay EMP. Okay, I'll say employee number. This is only for understanding. Okay, and then I'll say what? Employee name, emp hyphen employee name. This I'll say employee salary, emp hyphen what? Employee salary. Done. Save it. Check for the syntax. Done. Execute this. When I say fit, yeah, I got employee number as 0, right? Employee name is what? Space character of 20 and employee salary is what? 0.00. Am I clear? So the main point here is in structures, the memory allocation is what? Continuous. They are stored one after the other. And by default, it contains the default values depending on the data type. Now, when I store a record here, the previous one will be overwritten. I'll say EMP, I would access EMP for employee number, EMP for employee name, and EMP hyphen what? Employee salary. I'll use some salary. Okay. So what happened? The default values will be overwritten with the initialized values. At any point of time, A structure can store only single record. If you try to store a fresh record, the previous record will be overwritten. Okay, this is 5 and this is something Raj and this is something 123.45. Okay, so I have done it. Let me reprint it. I am reprinting. So at any point of time, a structure can store only one record. Okay, so when I execute, this entire thing is one record only. 5, Raj, and so on. So entire thing is one record. If you want to store multiple records, we'll see it going forward. We can do it by using internal tables. But a structure can accommodate only single record at any point of time. A record is a collection of what fields. So whenever you want to store a record kind of information, it is recommended to go for what? Structures. Okay. If you take any business, if you take any business, in every business we have these records. Okay, if you take a bank, bank account details, account number, account holder name, account holder address. Okay, that entire information is on one record. Like that, whenever you want to access a record kind of information, we'll go for what? Structures. For the timing, a structure can accommodate only single record. When you want to deal with huge amount of records, we'll go for internal tables with the combination of structures. We'll see that going forward. Yeah, any queries up to this point? So when you develop,
Sir,
yes, I.
sir, is it required to use clear structure before storing new values or no need?
If you don't
Like
use
we have to
clear,
clear the old value.
if you don't clear, SAP will clear the old data, but good programming practice is you clear and store. If you don't clear, you will have some issues. To understand that issues, we need to wait for one more week or so. Okay. As of now,
Oh, okay.
if you don't clear, SAP is automatically going to clear. But good programming practice is not only here, anywhere. Whenever you want to store a fresh value in any variable, in any field, any structure, any internal table, any object, it is recommended to clear the old values explicitly and then assign the new value. If you don't clear, sometimes SAP will automatically clear, but you'll have some kind of issues that we'll understand when we get into internal tables, read statement, all those things. Yeah, apart from that, any other questions, others? So when you are developing the object, no one will tell us whether to go for individual fields or whether to go for structure. The developer has to take the choice. Understood? Whenever you are dealing with a record kind of information, we always go for structure. Okay. So this is one way of creating the structure. What is the syntax? Data, begin of, fields and end of structure. Whenever a structure is declared, the memory gets allocated for the structure fields and they get initialized to a default values. If I put the breakpoint, any of this comes under declarations. I'll put the breakpoint on the 22nd line. When I execute, yeah, you can see here what is the structure name in my case, EMP. Now observe this carefully. If I double click on this EMP, yeah, you can see it is showing EMP as what structure. EMP is a structure. If I double click on this EMP here, as of now we are using which tab? Desktop 3 now. If I double click on this EMP, it has highlighted what? Structures tab. What are the default values? Employee number is 0 because integers by default contain 0. Employee name is space. Employee salary is what? 0.00 default values. If you want, you can access individually here also. So if you see EMP for employee number is 0, EMP for employee name is space, EMP for employee salary equal to something 0.00. I'm trying to print this default values. When I say F5, yeah, it might have printed that values. If you see the output in between, miscellaneous menu, display list, Yes, I got 0 space and what? 0.00. Done. Next, we are initializing the values. So this default values will be automatically overwritten. 0 will be overwritten with 5, space will be overwritten with Raj, and 0.00 will be overwritten with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when I say F5, so it is getting overwritten. Okay, so they are the current values of my structure. Even if I double click, it will show that here 5 Raj and what 123.45. Okay, I'm not interested to further debug. I'll say F8. I got the result. Right. So we understood how to declare the structure, how to access the structure fields, how to declare the structure and how to access the structure fields. Now here I'll say, yeah, here based on this existing structure, let me try to create one more structure. What are the current values of the EMP structure? 5 Raj and 123.45. So I'll say data EMP2, some name EMP2, okay, type EMP. Understood? Data EMP2 type EMP. So I'm trying to create a new structure based on the existing structure. When I do syntax check, I got an error. The type EMP is unknown. So far, when you're declaring the what date variables referring to the data type, we are referring to what? Integer, character, pack, date, time, string. All those are predefined data types, na, which are given by SAP, right? So we have to use type keyword if you are referring to what predefined data types. But EMP is not a predefined data type, na? It is a user defined structure. EMP is a user defined data type. We call it as user defined data with user defined structure. So if I use type here, it is giving me what? Syntax error. It is unknown, it seems. So I'll comment it for your reference. Whenever we are referring to user defined variables, we use like what? EMP. Save it, check for the syntax. I don't have any errors. Understood? So based on the EMP structure, I am trying to create another structure called as EMP2. EMP has got how many fields? 3 fields: employee number, employee name, employee designation. The same 3 fields gets created in what? EMP2. Let's see whether the data is copied or not. What is the current data of EMP? 5 Raj and 123.45. So for our understanding, I'll just give a message here. Data in what? EMP2 structure. Data in EMP2 structure, right? I'll try to print it, right? What is the structure name? EMP2 hyphen employee number, EMP2 hyphen employee name, EMP2 hyphen employee salary. Am I clear? So what this statement will do? It creates a new structure EMP2 based on the existing structure. Existing structure has got how many fields? 3 fields. So the same 3 fields will be assigned to EMP2. I want to understand whether the data is also copied or not. Data, what is the current data of EMP? 5 Raj 123.45. I am trying to access the fields of EMP2. Let's see that. So when I execute this, what happened here? No, the data is not copied. I'm having the default values 0, space, and what? 0.00. So what is the meaning? This statement is only copying the template. It is only copying the fields, but not the data. Am I clear? It is only copying the template, means the fields, but not the data. What is the current data in EMP? 5 Raj and what? 123.45. So this statement will only copy the structure, not the data. I want to copy the data from EMP to EMP2. I'll say EMP2, I'll use assignment operator. So how do we read this? We are assigning EMP to what? EMP2 by using what? Assignment operator. Let me print it again. If you print it only, we'll understand. Okay, I'll print it again. Data in EMP2 structure after assigning what? After assigning what? E. This is only for understanding. I'm giving the statements. Let's see whether it is assigned or not. So when I execute, again I'm printing what? EMP2 fields. So when I execute, yes. What happened? Whatever the data is there in EMP, it is assigned to what? EMP2. I got 5 Raj and what? 123 40. It is not moved from employee. It will make a copy of that, assigns it to what? EMP2. EMP also will contain the same data. So how do we assign the data between two similar structures? I can call them as similar structures because EMP2 also is created based on what? EMP. EMP2 also is created based on what? EMP only. Am I clear? So both are similar structures. So one way of assigning the data between two similar structures is by using assignment operator. Now what I'll do, I'll say clear EMP2. I'm using the clear statement, right? I'll try to reprint it. Format color 3, data in EMP2 structure after clear. This is only for understanding. After clear, again I am printing EMP2. So once I use clear statement, it will clear the data, sets it to default values. Yes, again I got back the default values now. 0 space and what? 0.0. Clear statement is clearing the data. Once again, I want to copy the data from EMP to EMP2. Earlier I used what? Assignment operator. Now I'll say move EMP to EMP2. Move EMP to EMP2. Let me reprint it. I'll say data. Okay, I'll give a different color. Data in EMP2 structure after what? Move. After move. So when I execute, yes, once again the data is copied from EMP to what? EMP2. So how do we do it? By using move statement. I can use assignment operator. I can use move statement. Once again, let me clear the data. I'll clear the data once again. Okay, once again I'm clearing, I'm redisplaying. So I'll get the what? Default values again, 0 space and what? 0.0. I want to copy the data once again. Earlier I used assignment operator and move statement. Assignment operator, move statement. Now I'll say move corresponding. Move corresponding EMP to EMP2. Okay. Data and EMP2 structure after what? Move corresponding. Let's see whether it is copied or not. Whether when I execute this, yes, once again the data is copied now. 5 Raj and what? So and so. So what is the understanding? If you want to copy the data between two similar structures, I can use assignment operator, move statement or move corresponding. What is the difference between them? We need to wait for 1 or 2 days. As of today, what we understood is to assign the data between two similar structures. At this stage, when I say similar structures, the number of fields, the sequence of fields, the field names, the data type, everything will be same between source and what? Target structure. Anyhow, this EMP2 I created based on what? EMP. So whatever the fields are there in EMP will be given to what? EMP2 also. We'll have same structure. So what is the understanding? To copy the data between two similar structures, I can use assignment operator, move statement, and move corresponding. Okay. Difference, we need to wait for 1 or 2 days. Okay. Yeah. Any questions up to this point? So we have seen two syntaxes for creating the structure. One is data begin of end of combination. Another is based on existing structure only. We can create another structure. I cannot use type operator because we are referring to what? User defined data type. The structure is also what? A data type only, but it is a user defined data. We have created that. So I have to use a like operator. What this statement will do, it only copies a template. It only copies structure, but not the data. In order to copy the data, I have to use assignment operator, move statement or move corresponding, right?
Sir,
Yes, I.
uh, without using this 36th line like, if you use only equal to, will it copy both template and
No,
values, or it
first
copies
of
only values?
first of all, if I comment this, okay, EMP2 structure itself is not available, right? So how can we access the fields from a non-available structure? Am I clear? Here I have commented this means we have not created the structure. Okay. Directly I'm trying to access. Obviously I'll get an error here saying that EMP2 for employee number is unknown. So first of all, the structure should be available. It is giving an error. The field EMP2 is what? Unknown. It is unable to recognize what is this EMP2. So first of all, we need to create, then focus on copying the data. I cannot create and copy the data at the same time. Yeah, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Even if I comment this, I'll get the error here. Okay, we are trying to assign EMP to EMP2 which is not existing. So it'll give an error in the 42nd line. The field EMP2 is unknown. So first of all, the target structure should be available. That's the reason I'm creating first, then I'm assigning the data. Yeah, any other questions, others?
So,
Yeah, Jyoti.
in general, we use move condition for moving the data from one place to another place.
Okay,
Can we use copy instead of move here?
means copy keyword.
Yes.
If it is there, I
That
can
means
use.
it is copying the data, not moving the data, sir. As per
And
it's
here,
move.
we should not make it complicated. Okay,
Okay.
I am not
Okay.
using this. I am not using this statement on my own. Since this
Okay.
statement is available, since it is given by SAP, I am using
Yeah.
it. As you said, I'll say copy. Okay. Is it
Uh,
coming in blue color? No.
no. No.
Means what? It is not available. That statement itself is not available. I am getting an
Okay.
error. Statement copy is not defined. Okay.
Okay.
So here, according to our understanding, movements, we are taking
Copy.
it from one place and putting it another. That is a general assumption. But here,
Yes.
what you have to understand is it will not remove the data from the source structure. It makes a copy of that and puts
Okay.
it in the target structure.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions, others? Right. So we understood how to create a structure based on the existing structure, and we understood how to copy the data between two similar structures. What I'll do, let me try to cover up here only. I'll say I'll declare another structure. I'll declare another structure. Data data begin of data begin of EMP3. So what I'm doing, I'm creating another structure separately. Why I'm creating separately? Because I want only two fields. Begin of EMP3, end of EMP3. Let me try to print the data in EMP3. Obviously, we know it will have the default values. Data in EMP3 structure. Okay, I'm having only two fields. What are the fields here? EMP3-employee number, EMP3-employee number. Okay, done. So what I did here, focus on this part only, forget about the previous 70 lines that we understood. So I created another structure EMP3 which has got two fields, employee number, employee name, and we know by default it contains a default value, zeros and spaces. So when I execute this, what happened? Focus on this. Zero and what? Space I got. Okay. So I got the default values. Now what I'll do, I'll say EMP3. I'm assigning EMP2, EMP3. I'm assigning EMP2, EMP3. EMP has got how many fields? Three fields. EMP3 has got only what? Two fields. Let's see whether it works or not. Okay. I'll put some other color. Data in EMP3 structure after assigning what? EMP. After assigning EMP. So only two fields are there. So EMP3-employee name, EMP3-employee number. Right? So point you have to focus here is, here this source structure has got three fields. Target structure has got only two fields. Right? I'm trying to copy the data between both of them. Save it, check for the syntax, no errors. Okay, execute. Yes, what happened here? Employee number is copied, employee name is copied. So what is the understanding here? This assignment operator is not bothered about the number of fields. It is blindly copying the data. There are many scenarios here. We'll see one by one. Done. Now I'll say, observe this carefully. I'll say clear EMP3. Clear EMP3. Okay. I'll try to print data and EMP3 structure after clear. So obviously I would get default values because I cleared that. So when I execute, yes, what I got? I got the default value, 0 and what? Space. Now this time, earlier I'm able to use assignment operator. Now I'll say move. Move EMP2, EMP3. Move EMP2, EMP3. Right? So data and EMP3 structure after what? Move. After move. Save it. Check for the syntax. No errors. Execute here. What is happening? It has copied that employee number and employee name. So what is the meaning? Move also is behaving as what? Assignment operator. Move also is not bothered about the number of fields. EMP has got only two fields. EMP has got three fields. EMP3 has got two fields. So still it is working. EMP3 has got only two fields, but still it is working. Now I'll say instead of using move, okay, let me use clear. First let me clear and then use move corresponding. Right? So I'm using clear again. So when I say clear, it will clear the data. When I execute this, yes, I got 0 and what? Space. Employee number is 0, employee name is what? Space. Done. Done. Next, I'll say what? Move corresponding. I'll say move corresponding EMP to what? EMP3. Move corresponding EMP to EMP3. Okay, let me put some different colors. Data EMP3 structure after what? Move corresponding. After move corresponding. So when I execute this, is it copying the data? Scroll down. Yes. Here also I got what? Fire arch working fine. Make clear it's working fine. So what is the meaning? Assignment, move statement and move corresponding is not bothered about the number of fields. It is not bothered about the number of fields. It is blindly copying the data. Okay, right. This is one scenario. right? We got the data. Now what I'll do, let me declare one more structure. I'll declare one more structure. Data begin of EMP4. EMP4. I'll say employee name of 20, type C. Okay. Employee number type I. Okay. And end of employee 4. Format color 1. I'll say data and EMP4 structure. Here I'll say EMP4-employee number, EMP4-employee name. So focus on this part. Earlier part, what is the focus we had? EMP3 has got two fields. EMP has got two fields. Sorry, three fields. But still it is copying because the first two fields are matching now. What are the first two fields in EMP? Employee number and employee name. Here also we have only two fields, the same fields. So it is copying that. Now the change I have done is EMP4 also has got two fields, but here the field is employee name. Here it is what employee number. So data and EMP4 structure. Obviously at this stage, okay, let me print employee name. I'll print employee number. In the same sequence, I'll try to print. Save it, check for the syntax. When I execute, scroll down. What I got here? Employee name is space, employee number is 0. Default values. Fine. Now what I'll do, I'll try to use assignment operator. Okay. So what is the concept of assignment operator is assignment operator is not bothered about the number of fields. It is not bothered about the field names also. Assignment operator doesn't check for number of fields, doesn't check for field names. I can use assignment operator if the corresponding field data types are same. Means what is the first field in EMP structure? Employee number. What is the data type of that employee number? Integer. Integer. What is the first field of employee for? Employee name. What is the data type here? Character. Okay. Done. And what is the second field of EMP? Employee name, which is character. Here the second field is employee, which is of type integer. Focus on the data types only. So the data types are not same now. When I do syntax check, I got an error. EMP4 and EMP are not mutually convertible. EMP4 and EMP are not mutually convertible. So I cannot use assignment operator because the corresponding data types are not same. Forget about the field names. Forget about the number of fields. The corresponding data type should be same. If any one of the field data type is not matching, you will get what? Error. So this will give me what? Syntax error. So if I am unable to use assignment operator, I cannot use move statement also. So move EM, because both assignment and move are same. Move EMP to EMP4. This also it should give me an error. Same error I'm getting. So this is also ruled out. I cannot use because the corresponding data types are not same. I'll try to use move corresponding. What is the concept of move corresponding is it will not check for number of fields. One second, please. Right, sorry. So what is the, okay, move corresponding I'm using. So when I do syntax check, I don't have any errors. So I repeat once again. We can use assignment op, I'm repeating once again. We can use assignment operator and move statement between two structures only if the corresponding data types are what? Same. It will not bother about the number of fields and the field names. If the corresponding data types are same, I can use it. Otherwise, otherwise we can, otherwise we'll get what? Syntax error. Okay. Move corresponding, what it will do? It will not check for number of fields. It will not check for sequence of fields. It will not check for the data type of the fields. If any matching field names are there, it will blindly copy. So save it, check for the syntax. I don't have any errors. Understood? So assignment and move I am unable to use because the corresponding data types are not matching. What is the sequence of data types of EMP structure? Let us focus on two fields only because EMP4 has got only two fields. Don't bother about the field names also. What is the sequence here? Integer and what? Character. Integer and what? Character. In EMP4, what is the sequence of data types? Character and integer. The sequence is not matching. The sequence is not matching. So we are getting what? Error. We are getting the error, we cannot use it. But whereas move corresponding also will not check for number of fields. It will not check for sequence of fields. It will not check for the data types. If any matching field name is found, it will blindly copy the data. So I have used move corresponding now. Let me try to print it. I'll try to print it. What is that? Data in what? EMP4 structure after move corresponding. What are the fields here? EMP4 hyphen what? Employee name. I'll try to print in the same sequence. I can print in any sequence, but just to avoid the confusion, I'm printing in the same sequence. So when I execute, yes, if you scroll down, yeah, what happened here? Employee 4, I got employee name Raj, employee number I got 5. So what you have to focus here is what is the position of employee name in the EMP structure? Second. Here the position of employee name is first. So it is not bother about the sequence. If the field name is same, it will blindly copy the data. So the summary is I can use assignment operator, move statement or move corresponding to copy the data between similar or dissimilar structures. We can use assignment and move statement only if the corresponding data types are what? Same. It will not bother about the number of fields, not bother about the field names. If the corresponding data types of the fields are same, I can use. If any one of the corresponding field data types are not same, you'll get what? Syntax error. You'll get the syntax error. Whereas move corresponding, again it will not check for number of fields. It will not check for the sequence of the fields. It will not check for the data types also. If any field name is matching, it will blindly copy the data. So when I execute this, when I activate and execute, if I scroll down, yeah, what happened here? See, employee name I got Raj and employee number is what? 4. 5. I got the data. Is it clear to everyone? Point here is move corresponding will not bother about the sequence of fields. Irrespective of the sequence, if the field name is matching, you'll get the outputs. Now what I'll do is just observe this carefully. Observe this carefully. Let me cover another scenario. Then if you have any questions, you can ask me. I'll declare another structure employee 5. I'll declare another structure employee 5. Okay, I'll give this employee name wantedly as integer. Actually, it cannot be integer, but wantedly I'm giving it as integer. Okay, right? And employee number, I'll say type I. Okay, and I'll take another field what? Department name of something 20, type C. Type C. I'll close the structure, end of EMP5. Let me try to print it. Data in EMP5 structure. Okay, I'll try to print in the same sequence. What is that? EMP5-employee name, EMP5-employee number, EMP5-department name. So obviously at this stage you'll get the default values now. So when I execute, page down, yeah, employee name I gave it as integer, that's why I got 0. Employee number is 0, department name is character, I got space. So I got the default values. Now I'll try to use what? Assignment operator. When I can use assignment operator, if the corresponding data types are what? Same. If the corresponding data types are same, understood? If the corresponding data types are same, I can use a assignment operator. Are they same? If you see the EMP structure here, what is the sequence of data types here? ICP, ICP, ICP. Here it is what? IIC. So I should get an error. I am getting an error. I cannot use assignment operator. If I cannot use assignment operator, I cannot use move also. Both are same. Okay. When I do syntax check, I am getting the same error. Done. I'll try to use move corresponding. Move corresponding EMP to EMP5. What is the concept of move corresponding? It also will not check for number of fields. It will not check for the sequence of the fields. It will not check for the data types, right? It will blindly copy the data if the field name is matching. But here you will have an issue here. Observe this. What any field is matching here? What are the field names here? EMP number, e-name, and employee salary. Here there are two fields are matching. Even though the sequence is different, no problem. But in the source structure, employee name is character. In the target structure, employee name is what? Integer. Right? So let's see what happened. Save it, check it. No syntax errors. We are happy. No errors. I'll try to print it. I'll try to print it. Format color 3, data and EMP3 5 structure after what? After move corresponding. After move corresponding. Okay. So I will get the runtime error here. No syntax errors. When I execute, what happened here? I got a runtime error from an exception class cx underscore sy underscore conversion underscore no underscore number. What is the short text? Raj cannot be interpreted as a number. Okay. I got there in the 144th line. What is this 144th line? This only the move corresponding. So this is the problem if you blindly use move corresponding. Move corresponding may lead to, I'm not saying will lead to runtime error, may lead to runtime error if the data types are not compatible. When I say not compatible means integers can be stored in characters, but reverse is not possible. Characters cannot be stored in what? Integers. So in this case, this is giving me what? Runtime error. That's why we should very carefully use the move corresponding. So because there is a possibility of runtime error and there is a performance issue also. What is the performance issue? Move corresponding, what happens internally is each field of the source structure will be compared with all the fields of a target structure for matching field names. Understood? Each field of the source structure will be compared with all the fields of what? Target structure. Understood? This comparison is a time consuming process. This comparison is a time consuming process. Understood? This comparison is a time consuming process. That's why it is recommended not to use move corresponding frequently because of performance issue, and sometimes there is a possibility of what? Runtime error. So I'll just comment it. This is give me what? Runtime. Why runtime error? Field name. What is the concept of move corresponding? It will blindly copy the field. It will blindly copy the data if the field name is matching. It doesn't check for the compatibility of the data type. If the data types are not type compatible, if they mismatch, there is a possibility of getting the runtime error. So don't blindly say it will give runtime error. It may lead to runtime error. When it will lead to runtime error? When the data types are not compatible, means integers can be stored in characters, but reverse is not possible. In that cases, you'll get what? Runtime error. And also it will degrade the performance because each field of the source structure will be compared with what? All the fields of target structure. So I thought of covering this tomorrow, but I demonstrate in the same program. So this is the difference between assignment, move statement and move corresponding. I'll repeat once again. I can use move statement and assignment operator only if the corresponding field data types are same. It will not check for number of fields. It will not check for sequence of fields. Am I clear? It will not check for the field names also. If the corresponding data types are same, I can use it. If any one of the field data types, sorry, if any one of the field data types are not matching, it will give what? Syntax error. Whereas move corresponding will not check for number of fields, will not check for sequence of fields, will not check for data types. If any matching field name is there, it will copy the data. But it is recommended to use this move corresponding carefully because of two reasons. It degrades the performance. How it degrades the performance? Each field of the source structure will be compared with all the fields of target structure. This comparison is a time consuming process. Okay, because of that it will degrade the performance. And second case is what? It may lead to runtime error when the data types are not compatible. That's it. This is about move and move corresponding. Any questions, please ask. So if you type the whole program at once and check the output, you'll not understand anything. In whatever sequence I demonstrated, you try to practice in the same sequence. Then only we can remember the concept forever. If you type the whole program, if you execute, you'll get the output, you'll be happy, but you'll not understand anything. So do it part by part, check what is happening. Yes, any questions, please?
Hello, sir.
Yes, Sai.
Sir, could you please check with different names, sir? Same data types, same sequence, but different names.
It should work. It should work. Suppose here, right? So here I'll say EMP6. Okay. Data and EMP6 structure. EMP6 hyphen employee number, EMP6 hyphen what? D name, department name, right? So obviously at this stage I would get the default values. So when I execute page down, yeah, I got what? Default values, 0 and what? Space. Now I'll try to use assignment operator. What is it? When I can use assignment operator? If the corresponding data types are what? Same. It is not bother about the number of fields. And I told it is not bother about the field names also. So if you see the EMP structure, first field is employee number, it is matching. Second field is employee name. Here it is D name, but still I should able to use. Let me confirm. EMP6 equal to what? EMP. When I do syntax check, I don't have any errors. Let me print it. Data and EMP6 structure. Yeah. After what? Assigning. Okay. So save it. Check for the syntax error. Execute. No errors. No runtime errors. Paged on. What I got? Employee number is anyway same. Employee name is Raj. It is copied to department name. Na? So what is the meaning? It is not bother about the field name. It will only check for the data type matching. So if I'm able to use assignment, I can also use what? Move statement. And I can use move corresponding. Move corresponding will copy the data between similar field names. Only employee number is matched, it will copy that one. Yeah, Sai, this is what you're asking.
Yes,
Yeah, is it clear, Sai?
different names for fields,
Yeah,
like instead of employee number.
different name only, na? What is this?
Okay,
Department
okay.
name. This is department name. In employee structure, what is this? E name. Different name only, na?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right?
This one. Okay.
But the data type should be same. Then only I can use assignment operator. So assignment operator will not check for the number of fields, will not check for the field names. I can use only if the corresponding data types are same. So in my target structure, we have two fields. What is the sequence of data types are IC. There also it is what IC only. The first two fields are integer and character. But the field names there are employee number and employee name. Here it is department name. Wantedly I took different name, but still I am able to use. What is the meaning is field names will not check. It will not check for the field names. It will only check whether the data type is same or not. Yeah, any other questions? Okay, so practice this part. Tomorrow we'll continue with the structures. We'll see the other ways of declaring structure and other some miscellaneous concepts are there. We'll continue with the structures tomorrow. How do we use in real time? For that you need to wait for 1 month till we get into database programming. We are trying to understand what is the structure, how to declare, how to access. How to use in real time, that we'll start understanding only when we start with what? Database programming. Okay. Chala then. So practices will continue tomorrow. Thank you everyone.